Normally there's a few steps we have to go through here. We have to make sure we've got a good looking formatted CV. We need to create the outreach or the pitch. That normally entails living in our inbox for a while and generating an email. And then lastly, we have to do the CV send action to make sure that in analytics, I'm attributed for the KPI of sending CV. So let's go through this now. In this case, I'm going to take James, who's one of our submitted candidates. I'm going to go to his record and I'm going to generate a formatted CV. So in the AI assistant, I've actually created a custom prompt in order for me to use here, which is create formatted CV. Well, what does that look like? So first of all, let's go back to the AI assistant admin, and what we can see is I've generated this new prompt, which is a custom task, and I've put in my prompt information here around formatting a version of a CV, etc. I've given it a name of create formatted CV, and then I've selected some data points that I want to include in that to make sure that the LLM can generate the best output. And on the right hand side, what we'll see from the Prompt Studio perspective is I've tested it with a candidate, and this is the output that I get. So going back to the candidate, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hit generate. That's now going to output me a new formatted version of the CV. There we go. So now we've got the formatted version of the CV. We can take that information and use it in any method that we normally use in order to format CVs and get them ready to go and packaged up, etc. But now I've got that content, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to the job. I'm going to move James along in the process. So I'm going to go to CV send. That's now going to generate the action for me. I'm also going to now use that newly created formatted CV. So as we can see, here's an example of that output that we generated. I've just got it in a pretty looking PDF. And from there, I'm going to compose the email. Next step on that, once that compose window generates, is the next thing we need to do is create some kind of outreach. So where do we do that? Heading back over to the candidate record, we're going to go back to the AI assistant, and this time we're going to choose create a client pitch. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to make this one job specific. So I know the ID just to speed things up. I'm going to generate again. And this time round, it's going to create me an outreach where I'm presenting this candidate for the position. So again, I can copy all of this. I'm actually going to grab the subject. I'm going to drop it in here. I'm going to come back and I'm now going to come down and just grab the overview about James. I'm going to drop it just about there. I'm going to come back and now I'm going to paste that straight into the email. Let's expand this for a moment just to see what's going on. So as we know, when it comes to large language models, when it comes to generative AI, it's a starting point. It's not the finished article. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to sanity check anything I need to. So in this case, I know it's going to Tim. I'd like to present James, etc., etc. And as I work my way through, I can sanity check everything as I go. And then once I'm happy that this email is ready to go, I can now minimize this window again and then sanity check if anything else I need to do. So I don't need to attach the CV because I already chose it. I'm going to say it's high priority. I want a read receipt. Maybe I'm going to mark this confidential, whatever that needs to be. And now we're referencing the job, we're referencing the candidate, which means analytics will work in the way it's intended, and we'll get our CV send action. It's marked as a yes, and it's associated to James. Do I want to set myself an appointment? So do I want something in my diary that's going to remind me to take action? Do I set myself a Bullhorn task, the to-do list that's inside Bullhorn, so I can follow up with an action here? Don't forget, automation can automatically set these to follow up as well. But then once I'm ready to go, I can just hit send and that CV's out the door.